J'hallucine une odeur de gaz dans le fond de l'appart. Je pense que
c'est moins pire, là. Oh, Tantôt. I found a big whisker. Hi Cyan. Hi Mikey. Hi Lab Accident. It's really funny because Scout has like curly whiskers. Always makes me laugh. Ooh. Just got done watercoloring a fluorite on a black background. That sounds pretty cool. Can you guys hear and see me? Is this thing on? Is it working? Bright. What is bright? Is it too bright? Doesn't seem to be quite too bright. Oh. The pearlescent colors from Van Gogh are pretty nice. Hey, Patricia! Oh, you have a new little cat! Oh! Yay! What's its name? What color is it? How old? Spill the beans. We want to know everything. Hey, Snow Sparkle Gem. Hi. It's been a while. I am good. How are you? Sorry for the noise. There we go. It's gonna be hot in here. So I will remove my sweater. Her name is Sydney. She is all black, about a year by my vet's reckoning. A stray, was pregnant, lost the kittens. Oh, poor baby. Poor mama cat. Cats can really start having babies super young. It's kind of scary. Ooh, taking chance with scholarship in moving countries. No Sparkle Gem. That's a big one. Yeah. I agree with what Mikey said. That Patricia, it's wonderful that you got the cat. Not that she was pregnant and lost her kittens. That's pretty bad. That's always very sad. I know that pets, perhaps we push a bit too much of human emotions on pets. And I don't think it's the same for a human to lose a child and for a cat to lose a litter. but it's still so sad. And I mean, they know something is wrong, and that's just heart-wrenching. Oh, I can't. Super difficult. It's also kind of funny because you know that it's their instinct to care for the babies. So they really, like, they know they gotta care for the babies. So that's confusing. But at a certain point, the babies are old enough, and sometimes the mom cats, they just stop caring about the kids at that point. Like, you're old enough. Leave me alone. But oh, I'm so glad you got her, Patricia. That's pretty awesome. And also that she's a black cat, because for some obscure reason, apparently black cats are more difficult to find forever homes for than other colors, which is so stupid. Yeah, I'm glad the mom is safe now. Aww. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and she was not very old, if she's 1 year old by now. I mean, good grief. Like, she was a kitten herself and she was already expecting kittens. That's insane. Hey, Lena! So, she's a stray that showed up at your door and you did what you had to do to keep her. If I get it right. She chose you. Same goes for black dogs. Difficult for them to find homes. Stupid superstition have been... Yeah, it's the same for black cats, and it's equally dumb. Oh my gosh. Patricia says she's a total sweetheart. The vet said she was socialized, probably got pregnant, and her people relocated her to my neighborhood. Dude, there is a special hell for these kind of people. You cannot... Well... It's consistent, but I mean, it's kind of your fault as a pet owner that she got pregnant because you didn't spay her. And then you have to take responsibility for the consequences of that. And dumping a cat is not the way to take responsibility. Oh, I get so angry about that. I hate people who do that. Hate. I don't care if they have like circumstances or whatever. I mean, if you can't keep a cat, find a new home for it. Don't just dump the cat. I don't really have a plan. I'm just preparing. I have part of a plan. I prepared a, like the small sheet cards thingy I always doodle on. I got some paints out. I got my M. Graham paints out because I felt like using them, even if the palette is huge and will consume a lot of space on my desk. But I don't use these nearly enough, and I want to use them more. But yeah, it's a space problem. But aside from that, that's where my plan stops. That's where I have nothing else. That's where I'm at. People get scared of Dante. Are you for real? He's like super sweet. One woman shouted at me when we were on a walk once and she was on the other side of the road. What? What? That's perhaps the woman was not completely there, if you guys know what I mean. Hey, Nettie and Amicia, hi. Hi guys. I have tea. Got the important stuff. And my mug has cats on it. Can't really show it without spilling all the tea, but I will try. Hold on. There. Can you see? It's one of those double-walled metal mug that is super nice in the winter because the drink stays hot longer, but you can you can hold the cup without burning yourself, and it has like kitties on it because you know me. Kitties. That's my jam. Oh, wow. It's just the color. Poor pets. It's not their fault they're born black. That's still very hot. Hey, Stephen, hi. Hi, Malvina. Alright. Need pencil, some eraser. Yeah, all of the erasers. There you go. Mikey says, a lot of people don't understand that animal behavior is reactionary. They think it's a proactive kind of thing when in reality it's response to your behavior. Well, I think it depends on a couple of factors though. I think that for dogs it also depends on if you trained the dog properly. Like, I was sort of semi-attacked by a dog for zero reason. Like, I was walking on a, like, kind of a path kind of place, and they were there too, and the dog just ran towards me and jumped on me. And I was like, what? I did nothing! So, that was kind of weird. But that's the thing with dogs. You have to train them because they need some kind of structure in their life. Sorry. While cats, it's not exactly the same like dynamic with a cat. You gotta train your dog when you get a dog. Size is not a factor whether you gotta train your dog or not, because you have to establish that you're the boss. From what I understand, mind you, I'm a cat person, so what I know is all secondhand knowledge, or yeah. Aww. Patricia says, when I looked up the personality of black cats, I learned that they are amongst the sweetest, calmest, and brightest of kitties. Aww. Aww. I want all the cats. I love cats so much. And mine are problematic at times. So I'm like, Alright. I see so many dogs that are not trained, and it's so annoying. On the other hand, when I see a dog that is well trained, I get so like this wave of relief over me. Like I'm like, ah, yes, they did the thing. Yeah, it's kind of different too if the dog is a rescue that had trauma. That's something you really gotta work. Like you have a lot more work on your plate if the animal was abused. Oh, that's pretty cool. Cyan says, I was so happy today because we went for a walk with Ruka and with my friend's 2 dogs, and Ruka behaved so well. What about painting a wonderful autumn scene? That's a good idea. I could put a cat in there. How about that? I saw some pretty cool lighting in the trees the other day. Perhaps I could try to sort of reproduce that, but instead of having it be a street scene, have it be like more like a forest setup. It was pretty cool because you had these trees in the foreground that were still green and they were kind of in the shade, but then from behind them you had this sort of burst of yellow leaves in the sun, so it was like really bright yellow. And I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. And it's not the kind of thing that comes out well on a photo, so that's the kind of thing that I try to keep it in mind so that I can paint it, because with paint I can easily cheat the colors to make to the effect I want. I can make some things stand out more and some things stand out less, so I have a bit of control over that, which is in my book part of the fun of arting. And Misha, that's pretty awesome. Misha says, I was always the one who walked right up to mean dogs and never had problems. They seem to know that I was just giving away free scritches. Mikey says, I've been doing my first ever drawing challenge and it's spooky things. Today is a gravestone. You could do cats in the graveyard with all spooky things. Or is it way too far from... I could do it like next week. That would be pretty cool. I could perhaps do it on a slightly larger piece of paper too. I'm pretty sure I've done that before. Here. I knew that sounded familiar. I have yet to scan this one and post it. I have a couple of drawings that I need to scan, so shortly. Oh, Mikey, that's pretty intense. The drawing is The drawing is changing things in my brain. It's amazing how hard it is to draw. Yeah, it is. But the fun thing about drawing is the more you do it, the easier it gets. And sometimes the hardest part is just getting started, so... I think someone is like either using the leaf blower outside or vacuuming. There's kind of a droning sound that's super annoying. I hope you guys can't hear it. Oh yeah, I hope it's changing things in a good way, Mikey. I assumed it did, but... you guys follow up on the news about the typhoon hitting Japan? That's pretty scary. Like, there's nobody I really personally know, but there's a lot of people that I know of and that I sort of follow that live in Japan. So it was kind of a bit scary. And it's like I don't know where they live in regards to where this thing is gonna sort of go through the island and what's the risk, and trying to find news that are not in Japanese about the whole thing was also a bit of a challenge. But it seems to have gone through, and so far it's not like the worst disaster ever so far. Fingers crossed. Let's not jinx it. Yeah, there was a earthquake at the same time as the typhoon, because the typhoon was not enough apparently. I'm like, good grief. Can you catch a break? What the hell? Hey Val. Yeah, that's dude, that was a bit scary. Like, you see that they have to evacuate people to schools, and I mean, this is a place that is so used to seeing typhoons that locally they don't even name them anymore. They just have numbers. It's like Typhoon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one was 19. 19 typhoons already. It's kind of insane. So yeah, and they are sort of prepared for that. They have like gear that is usually ready to go in case of a earthquake, a tsunami, or a typhoon. Like thunder and lightning. First a boom and then another boom. Well, at least the thunder doesn't cause any damage technically. But yeah, like an earthquake on top of a typhoon, that's like, what else? What else can you throw at me at this point? That's already bad. Ah! So yeah, that was a bit scary too. I saw it from Simon and Martina's Twitter account. They were like, oh, we felt the house shake, so we thought it was the wind. But turns out it's an earthquake. An extra earthquake. Oh, good. I'm laughing, but it's not actually funny. It's just so like it's almost unbelievable, the piling up of stuff that. And like, we have Otto that has family in Japan, and so yeah, it's always a bit scary. Like, oh my gosh, this droning sound is so annoying. I really hope it doesn't come through. Someone is shopping for a slap behind the head or something. Shut up! Whack! You need to figure out ways to make like vacuum and leaf blowers that are silent, or at least less noisy. Because, oh, good grief, man, in a city, that's so much noise pollution extra on top of everything else. Could definitely do without, because I don't enjoy it one bit. Wasn't that a Grease song? Like the musical? Something about thunder and lightning. I can't tell if my chat is... Okay. So yeah, how is everyone this weekend? And where did I put my pens? Oh yeah, you had mentioned it, Patricia. Like, your neighbor is really not a nice person. It's usually like balanced around here, but I swear this droning sound, I have no idea what it is, but it's... I can't. Ugh. Gonna be inking with the Pentel brush pen today, because that's what I feel like using. It's been a while, so yeah, that's gotta be someone like vacuum cleaning their car or something. Oh, it stopped. No, it started again. What? My weekend feels so long. I was able to leave work early on Friday and spend the day. Oh, that's so cool, Anna. Playing with the dog. Aw. What's his favorite game? Dante's. San says that they are tired, had to drive 600 kilometers to change winter tire. What? And my car annual service ended up costing more because there was something that needed repairing. Bleh. Yuck. Well, 600 kilometers though, that's a pretty long drive. Doesn't sound like fun. The one thing that really bothers me the most, I think, is the leaf blowers. These things should be illegal. I hate them so much. Science says that their car is fun to drive, so yeah, I guess that makes driving for what, about 5-6 hours a bit better. Still, that's whew. Your butt's gotta hurt after a ride that long. Dante loves to play either with stuffed rattling toys or we play fetch. Today we played fetch until he was too tired to run with a neon green ball. Aw, that's so cute. Oh, I agree, Patricia. Patricia asks, who, like me, is loving this autumn? The explosion of colors, the smells, the milk temperatures, etc. I love it. Yeah, allergies are like perhaps the downside of it all. It's been really bad this year, and I ran out of allergy meds, so I'm a bit like stuffy today. It really feels like catching a cold, but it's just like allergies. It's the same kind of weird effects and feelings and unpleasantness than you get from a stupid cold. I need to pick up some more meds later because woo-wee, I don't want to do another day like this. It's quite unpleasant. I'm really focusing on the drawing because my eyes are so watery that I have a hard time focusing on the details. So I'm like, dude, you're inking something really tiny. Pay attention. It's like if I try to focus too much, I feel like my eyes go cross-eyed or start watering up really bad. Oh, Val, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's not always difficult to handle things in life. I'm glad to be streaming too. I didn't have a plan, but I was looking forward to it. It's always good to chat with you guys and sort of talk about whatever random stuff we feel like talking. Oops, did I just... Okay, no. I'm gonna need more tea. I also brought some cough drops somewhere. I've only found one brand of cough drops that works for me, and I have to buy them from the US. I used to be able to find them here, but suddenly they stopped carrying them, and I was like, why? Why do you always do that? So now every few years I buy like a bunch of them, and I mean, they never go bad. If they go bad, they don't go bad for a really long time before I'm done with them. But they are really the only thing that I've found that work. I've tried like, you know, Halls, that kind of stuff, or the Recollet ones, like the ones from the Swiss mountains or whatever. It tastes like butt. Oh my gosh, they taste like what it would taste if you cleaned up your lawnmower and ate that. It's really gross. That's a very good point. If you take cough drops that are sugar-free, the sugar alcohol they use instead of real sugar, they are really, really efficient at causing mayhem in your intestinal tract, if I can say that. If that makes sense. It's the Albus. Hold on. I think I have some papers. Be right back. C'est notre DVD?
Oui. C'est sur Netflix.
Il est sur Netflix?
Je l'ai pas trouvé.
Avec sa super description.
Yes.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Crunch, crunch. Alright, I am back. Okay, so these are the cough drops that I like. And I got this too because I've never tried those before. They are like sugar free, but I was like, I can like alternate if need be. This one, is it sugar free? It has glucose and sucrose in it. It's pretty difficult because I think a lot of people are allergic to the stuff that's in them. But it's this brand with the mountain. What does it say? Oh, it has a lot of fancy stuff in it. Yeah. It has... hold on, let's see. Menthol, of course. What else? Chlorophyll, clove oil, eucalyptus oil, glucose, juniper berry oil, modified starch, sucrose, and wintergreen oil. Yep. When cough drops have a mountain, they have to be good. Yep. Except the Recollet ones. I tried them because I was like, hey, there's a mountain on them. They gotta be good. And they were not. Patricia, if you cannot find them locally, let me get the place I got them from is called Pen Herb Co. Limited. Their website is www.pen, P-E-N-N, herb, H-E-R-B altogether, penherb.com. Yep. They are the good stuff. Oh, getting a haircut. Oh, a trim. Okay. Val is getting a trim. I don't have any special news about Linus this week. He's having the best life. He has his cat brothers to play with, and food, and places to sleep, and he really likes to sleep like on his back, like sprawled. Not exactly sprawled, like not all everything, like all the legs and arms out, but he likes to sleep on his back, so he's like this sausage on his back with the paws folded on his belly. And he's just so cute, and he always has this kind of smile on his face, so he's living the best life. Hey Lise, hi! Why is your comment held for review? But that's weird. Sure. Hey, I have a question for you guys. The word lozenge, is that also like a geometric shape for you? Because I was wondering, like, most lozenges don't have a lozenge shape, but it's also almost the same word in French, losange. So I've heard it mostly in French, like in math class when I was a kid, to describe the shape. But then I've seen it used to describe cough drops, and I was like, huh. Yes, a shape but not used a lot. Hey, Cleo! Hi! I think I mostly heard it in heraldry. Or cough drops, yeah. I think it's possibly old school, like the 20th century medicine that perhaps came more in the lozenge form then, so they kept the word but changed the shape. I hope I'm not mistaken, but Cleo, I saw your vacation pictures. Yeah, you just got back from a week in Algiers. Algiers. Funny because it's probably a name in French. Algiers, where I got to speak in not very good French a lot. I saw your pictures. Oh, Alger. Alger? Dude, I'm so confused right now. I'm like, I can't remember how to say this word. It's like you have Algérie, then Alger, Algiers for the Anglophones. Anyway, your pictures were lovely. I don't know, probably would have been better not to add those, but I'll blame it on the allergies. Allergies are affecting my brain. Lozenge, it's used to describe a diamond shape. Yes, old school. Cleo says, thank you, it was a great experience. For a convention, and I drew lots of sketches. And I'm feeling inspired for art again. I should do a carnet de voyage. You really should. That would be pretty cool. Was it like an art-related convention or something different? I'm gonna need to go get some water to paint. I'll be right back. Comics Convention, Festival International de la Bande Dessinée d'Alger. Hold on. Yo, est-ce qu'on dit Alger ou Alger? Alger? Alger, it is. We had to have an escort everywhere to get past police checkpoints. Gee. Hey, Otto! Otto says, I'm so sorry I'm so late. I fell asleep after my hike. That's okay. That was a good hike if you fell asleep after it. That's what it means. monstrous palette. Combination of not sleeping well last night, worry about mom and the big typhoon, and a hard hike today. Yeah. I'm so glad your mom is safe and good. We mentioned the earthquake, the typhoon, and the fact that there was an earthquake on top of it just earlier. I'm waiting for the ink to be completely dry. That's what I said when I saw that. And this is, oh yeah, I was like, what the heck, Japan, give it a break. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry I don't have any cat cam today, but they fell asleep in the pile of warm laundry. So yeah. Oh, I hope she won't get flooded. Yikes. Today we are using M. Graham. Because my poor M. Graham paints are sadly a bit neglected. Because the palette is so big. It's like huge. But I was recently able to clear some space this way. So I have a bit more room for it. Pico is fast asleep. I will send you pic later. Pics later? Yeah, pics later. That's what I meant. Aw. I'm so sorry for your loss of Thumbelina, Mikey. She had a good life. Still sad, but that's a comfort. It's kind of insane to imagine that you have a place currently that is flooded and another place currently that is on fire. It's like, feels like you should combine. I thought the Amazon was on fire. Is it still on fire? Jeez, I hope it's not still on fire. There's gonna be nothing left. But I think I saw, like, it's getting so confusing because it used to be only a certain period of the year where there were some sort of fire warning advisory in like Western USA. And now it feels like it's almost year round. There's always a warning of like, oh, everything is too dry, there's a risk of fire. Yeah, the Amazon in California. Absolutely no problem with the climate. Climate is fine. It's completely fine. Yeah, that's disgusting. The companies starting fires to clear up space for planting stuff and farming. It's depressing. It's a bit like shooting oneself in the foot. Because, like, guys, you need oxygen. If you don't have oxygen first, ooh, that wasn't ready. It's not gonna matter whether you sort of have... Hold on. I'm trying to do damage control and think at the same time. But But yeah, if you're not alive, it's not gonna matter whether or not you have more fields for palm oil or whatever. Like, if you're dead, you're not gonna be able to enjoy it anyway. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to wait a bit more. California is having big fire problems, especially north and LA. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Not the drawing, but the fires, I mean. The drawing is gonna be fine. Alright, so let's wait a bit more. Cleo says, I think the super wealthy think they can just buy oxygen when the rainforest is gone. I'm dead. That's literally what they're thinking. Oh my gosh, what? Eat the rich? That's the thing, that's the trendy thing. Designer oxygen. Your Ralph Lauren oxygen. Oxygen Ralph Lauren. Gaultier, Jean-Paul Gaultier oxygène. The other day, the closest city to the forest fire is the air pollution rate reached thousands. Crazy. What's your you said it's near your home country still on fire, so is it near the Amazon? Aww. Amisha says, I've spent 17 days out of the last 3 weeks with my 3-year-old granddaughter, and it's made me more determined to fight for a future. Yep. Indonesia. Oh my gosh. So it's on fire over there too. Oh. For a time they will buy oxygen, then that will run out and... Hey, JT, hi. You're popping in at during a very downer conversation about the state of the climate and the fires and the oxygen and all right. Is it a bit more dry, do you think? Let's try. Let's try it carefully. Like, nope, it's still... What the heck is going on with this paper? Well... Oh shoot, are you guys talking about what's happening in Japan too? Yeah, we did! That's what sort of led us to this point. Because I was saying how, like, you have a place that's flooded and a place that's on fire right now. But sure, there's nothing wrong with the climate, everything's good. Like, I know the fires in the Amazon were probably started by humans, which is terrible. But still, the fires in California, I don't think they were started by humans. I hope not. I thought this ink dried faster on this paper, but apparently it does not. Perhaps my eraser is the wrong one. Perhaps I should try with this one. Nope. What? I don't get it. How can it smudge so bad when it's sort of dry? Dude. It's missing. Every day's a mess. Every day. Today's a mess at least. Right. You go sit over there. Let's grab another one. Let's use a different pen this time. Because this brush pen is not liking this paper. We may not destroy the planet completely, but humans are currently causing our own extinction. We are. Thing is that even if we cause our own extinction and it's pretty bad, the Earth is gonna recover at some point. Us? Nah, maybe not. We'll be gone. But I think ultimately at some point in the distant future, the Earth would be fine. It would adapt. That's what it does. I'm not saying that that's a good option for the future. I would much rather stay alive and sort of not have to go through the mess that we are going through right now, but yeah, it's a oh no, eraser. Hey Jack, hi. It was a mono eraser at some point, but yeah. Hey Nancy. It's pretty much a oh no eraser today with the smudging that went on. It's just so sad that while humans are working on self-destruction, they are taking so many other species with them. Yeah, we are, but what is gonna be left is gonna survive us. Because it will adapt, and it's not gonna be as sort of picky as humans can be. And I think there's something also, okay, I'm really going out of vague memories here, but there's something about evolution that something with a shorter lifespan is gonna adapt faster because it's gonna like iterate on its adaptations faster. Hey Nancy, I'm glad you finally made a stream. That's pretty cool. Have you been really busy? Busy. No, I'm speaking le Franglish. I'm all confused in my words. Let's blame the allergies again for that. It's the allergies' fault. Okay, let's this for now. That's why insect and mammals survived the dinosaurs. Yes. I am French Canadian, yeah. And I speak French mostly. So this is why my English is a bit messed up at times. Well, mind you, my French is also messed up because the French we speak over here in French Canada is a sort of a dialect. It has evolved from the original French. Oh, too busy, Nancy. Is busy good or is busy not so good in this case? Oh, thank you so much, GT. Oh, busy good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's the good busy. Obviously. Trying to think of another thing to doodle while this mess is hopefully drying, or if this never dries, at least I will have something else to paint. Because that one clearly did not cooperate. Like, nope. Bye. I'm gone. Have fun. Enjoy the mess. Woohoo. I have a lot of hiccups. Hiccups. Okay. Yeah, it's been a bit difficult lately to find ideas of what to draw, which is a bit why I haven't made a lot of videos lately, because I need things to demo the paints on, and I've just been absolutely have no idea what to draw. Kittens playing in the leaves. I've done that. Thing is that I've done quite a few things by now, and I'm like, do I really want to do the same thing again? Not necessarily. I've just been having hiccups too. Sugar helps stop hiccups. I have really, when I get the real hiccups, they are really bad. They are like really big convulsion, if I can say that. Like, because I think what happens is in regards to the diaphragm, sort of gets stuck in a way and it causes like spasm or something. It stopped when I had mashed potato. Wow. Nice. But I sort of coughed weirdly and I felt my diaphragm get stuck, and then I started having hiccups and it was really bad. So I held my breath and I sort of pushed in the opposite direction that it had felt the diagram get stuck. So like my diagram felt stuck like upward, so I sort of pushed down with my lungs on it and held my breath, and they passed, and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. I was about to go to sleep, and you cannot sleep when you're like shaking, like hiccuping in the bed. That's like human earthquakes. Human quakes? Human quakes. What about a little river in autumn with reflections of leaf colors and rocks? That would be really cute. Yeah, that's I basically breathed in deeply but held it. And I was like, no, I don't want to have the hiccups, please. Hey, hi Shiny Abel. Such a long time not seeing you. Yeah. A lot of people are showing up today. That's pretty good. I mentioned it on the Discord, but if you guys have Netflix, possibly in Canada or in the US, they recently released the second season of their documentary series called Rotten. And it's a documentary series. Every video is about an hour, and they are all about they are all food related. Like one episode will be about garlic, and it's gonna go like in depth about how it's produced, where it's from, how it's transformed, and all of that, and the issues that come with that, because apparently there's something problematic about the way they make garlic, and the usual consumer like you and me won't know about this stuff. But this documentary series is really interesting. I loved the first season. Came out like last year or something, and well, it takes a long time to film such kind of videos because you have to do a lot of research and sometimes you have to wait. But shut up, I love garlic. I'm not saying that garlic is bad. I'm just saying that it's really interesting how it's produced. And there are certain aspects of the production that are perhaps a bit less great. So it helps you, like when you get to the grocery store and you want to buy garlic, well, you can sort of make a conscious decision of which garlic you get. Like, do you want to get the one that is made by slave labor in China, or do you want to get the one that is local? That kind of stuff. And like I watched the episode about avocados, and there was one about bottled water, and what's the one I'm currently watching? Trying to remember. Oh, about sugar. Oh, it is in Denmark too, and some European countries as well. Awesome. It's really interesting. Like the one about honey was great, and like it's not about cutting like, oh, this is really bad, I have to cut this from my diet, but like it gives meaning to certain elements of this food. gonna be a small stream, I guess. Not exactly a, a little river, it's gonna be a little stream. How about that? Yeah, I think I started watching Abstract. I gotta pick it up. Yeah, well, I mean, of course, if avocado is not... like, this show is produced for the US, so they mostly talk about what's available in the US, like what's on the shelves in the US. But, of course, if you can get, like, local... You're in... So you are in China already, so yeah, you're gonna have access to things fresh that are gonna be like impossible to find elsewhere. But if you can get like any kind of produce fresh from a local grower, that's the best. It's just that over here, like you have some weird things sometimes, like peeled bottle garlic, and it's just not a good choice. It's just very weird and kind of not the best practice. Plus, it's kind of lazy. It's not really hard to peel garlic. Come on. Come on, come on. Yeah, and it's things like that. Like when you consider honey, like it's probably a best choice to get the local honey you can get from local beekeepers. And like it's just a good, because as consumers we're like overwhelmed with options, and sometimes it doesn't really make sense why you should pick one thing more than another, because a thing is a thing, you know, it's the same thing, but there's a lot more underneath the fact that it's the same ingredient. Like sometimes the way it's imported is problematic, the way it's produced is problematic, you know, there's always a thing that you go like, Like, I didn't expect the episode on avocados to include drug cartels. That was like, whoa. I'm sorry, what? But yeah, I mean, so you know that, like, avocados from Chile are maybe not the best ones to pick, because it comes from a more problematic producer than, say, the ones in Mexico. Lee says, I just found out this summer that a person like 5 houses down from me makes and sells their own honey. Lived here 8 years. Well, now you know where to get it, though. Hey, Dan! Hi. I find the safest and tastiest thing to do is support local producer. I agree with you, Patricia. Makes sense to me as well. It is possibly the best you can do, because it's gonna have traveled much less distance. It's gonna, you know, help someone local, and it's probably gonna be more affordable possibly than something that has been imported over such a long distance. This is something that's been bothering me too. I'm sort of not really happy with the way I draw forests and greenery and stuff, but I really struggle to find the kind of reference I want, like that show me the kind of stuff that I like. Like sometimes you have a lot of close-ups. That's not what I want, because my approach, I'm trying to get away from focusing on the details and thinking more about the global shape of things. So it's kind of difficult when all you find are like super nice photos, but of like close-ups of something. You're like, that's really pretty, but that's not what I want. What's on the menu tonight? No idea. Oh hey, Grouchy. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation. What is that one? Oh, that's really good, Amisha. That's nice. Amisha said, my daughter-in-law is well versed in all this stuff and she's changed habits I'd had for decades. If it's a change for the best, that's awesome. Lee says, yeah, when possible. And is it me, or does there seem to be a bit of a movement back towards that in recent years? I think so. I think it's mostly because like it's less expensive and people enjoy this connection to making the thing, like having a garden, taking care of it, and then having the vegetables. Oh, you're gonna have to share with us, Patricia. Share pictures of your little vegetable patch when you move. Aw, that's a bummer, Abel. Abel says, well, here in Dominican Republic, literally everything is imported from US. Local things are only in the small towns. That's a bummer. They talk a lot about Dominican Republic in the Rotten episode about sugar. Snow Sparkle Gem says, when I still rented in low-end area, some farmer that travel to the city bring their produce and sell home to home. That's really cheap and tasty. Sometimes I feel bad they sell it with very cheap price while they walking and bringing the heavy weight of the produce. Yeah. It doesn't seem like an easy life to be a farmer, to be honest. Is spaghetti garden? What's a spaghetti garden? Patricia says, my new landlord pointed out the raised beds he made for his spaghetti garden, encouraging me to go for it. What's that? I can't help but picture like spaghetti plants, and that's really funny. Can you imagine you have plants that you can harvest for spaghetti? Hey Heather! Hi! Oh, spaghetti garden. Tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, etc. Dan says, it sounds cheap, but I think it's easy to forget how much of a markup supermarkets put on veg and fruit. It is. But like sometimes it's so easier to just go to the grocery store and get everything. Like I really wish there were more a stronger focus on local produce. Like our grocery store really tries, but I miss living near a farmer's market. When I was a kid, we lived near a farmer's market, and that was the best because I could walk over there, get some fresh stuff, and it wasn't pricey at all. The vacuum sound is finally over. Finally! Farmers market are really, really nice. Though tomatoes at my farmers market were 3 times the prices as at the supermarket. Yeah, that's kind of a problem sometimes too. You gotta check it up first. Like some farmers market will have produce at a much better price than the grocery store, but sometimes it's the other way around too. You only get things that are in season too at the farmers market. Like if I don't know, string beans are not ready yet, you're not gonna find string beans at the farmers market. Oh, heritage seeds. Heritage tomatoes look so silly. Not this way. Lee says, one thing about living in a very small country is that a lot of what I buy could be considered local compared to large countries. If it's Danish, it's from within a small kilometer radius. That's pretty cool. Sorry. Hiccups. The main farmers market in Montreal is also very touristy, I find. And it's a bit like hipster jet set. You know, kind of fancy pants. I'm like, yeah. Alana, as for what's considered local, personally, I just try to get like as close as possible, because that's usually the best. But I don't really know how local, if there's a specific definition of local that is accepted and whatnot. Heather has cat issues again. Oh good grief, I sit down to watch Caturday and Browser immediately get up and collapsed across my arms. Sigh, he has his chest on my left arm and bum on my right arm. You're not gonna move, Mom. I'm settling here. This is my spot now. Okay, so hopefully this ink is not gonna be as much of a butt as the previous one. It's not the same ink, so there's hope. It is, however, a slightly different kind of tip, and it catches on the paper a bit more, so I gotta be careful. Oh, have a great dinner, Elena. Jen says, I grew zucchinis once. I waited for them to go green and they rotted on the vine. My mom came over and I told her. She said, Jen, they are white zucchinis. Oh no. That's such a bummer, though. Grudge, says, I live like 30 minutes away from a ton of farms. The price difference for fruits from farms that sell their produce in supermarkets is unreal, in the sense that the farm stuff is less expensive or more expensive? Hey, Lee! Hi! We're talking about like farmers market and vegetables and all that, so you came in at the right time. How's your garden going? I think I'm gonna grab the other one. I didn't know which one I would like more. They are similar pens, but they are foudet nibs. And foudet nibs, it just means that the nib is bent like that. And this one is really like sharply bent, and this one is less bent. I think I prefer this one. Oh, wow. Apples. Aw, pouring up a storm. At least one of us is comfortable. Aw, Bruiser. Man, being a human with cats is not always easy. The concessions we have to make for these ungrateful beasties. We had, oh, darn. I think that the name in English would be an apple turnover. I found some that from a local bakery, and they are made with what I presume are local apples, but they bake them themselves, so it's like real brown, like apple puree in there. It's not like the, you know, the stuffing that is self-canned, that has apple that are not oxidized, which is really weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's a problem. It's gonna be problematic. Cassie is fast asleep. Peko and Scout are fast asleep as well. Oh no! Lee says, I got tomato seedlings from a seedling sale this season, and I loved some of them and hated others, but stupidly did not keep good track of what's what. Oh no! Aww, Patricia, I'm sure she will. How long have you had her? Apple pies. Oh, 2 weeks. Perhaps she need a bit more time. But, I mean, you said she's a sweetheart. Is she... How much of a cuddle bug is she? Like, we have... you've seen my cats. And Peko is... Like, she purrs. She purrs for so many things. She purrs because she's happy. She purrs because she's gonna eat. She purrs because she is gonna eat, she purrs because she is eating, and she purrs after she's done eating. So I'm quite confident that Peko likes feeding times. And she will, like, you will pick her up and give her scratches and she will purr. While Scout, like, she purrs, but it's really subdued. and unless she's nursing on a blanket, you cannot really hear her purr super loud. So perhaps Sydney is as some peculiar situation that will have her purr more than just regular. But yeah. Patricia says, total cuddle bug, tucks right in, sleeps at my head, chatters away at me. Happy girl. Oh, that's fine. That's really fine then. A happy cat makes a happy human. Hey San, I think I forgot to say hi earlier. I saw your name and then I like thought of something else and was all over the place as usual. Oh, meow. Oh, making me hungry too. Food. Food can be such a curse and such a blessing at the same time. Like, it's really problematic if it's one of your coping mechanism for stuff. Because it is so easy to make bad choices when it comes to food. And eat things that will not help you. But good food is so amazing. I hope you like garlic, Grouchy. Grouchy says, growing your own fruits and vegetables is great until somehow your entire backyard is filled with garlic plants. Or the sage tries to take over the lawn. I think mint and lemongrass... no. Citronella? What's the... Is it lemon balm? Possibly. But like, these two are pretty bad at staying in their cute little corners. Lemon balm. Thank you, too. Because I was thinking lemongrass and I was like, nope, lemongrass is the other one. Yeah, lemon balm grows easily. Mint, catnip. Catnip is actually a type of mint. I know that Otto, mint is not for you though. Do you react to catnip, Otto, because catnip is in the same family as mint, I think? Otto, were you always allergic to mint? You haven't tried eating catnip. Well, can you handle catnip, at least? Like when you babysit Cassie. Whoa! Amisha says, the farm I had years ago had catnip that had gone wild and had spread through the fence rows over 13 acres. Wow. That's a lot of catnip. Heather says, Havoc just had a totally... Havoc is a cat, by the way. Just had a totally uncoordinated moment. She's on a box and nearly tipped it over while sleeping. Not sure how she managed to do that. Not sure either. Oh my gosh. Oh. Catnip tea is a thing. I've drank catnip tea. Ata says, no, I wasn't allergic to anything until I was in my early 20s. Then came the nut allergy, then allergy to everything started in my mid-30s. That sucks. Cassie doesn't seem to have catnip toy. Huh. Grouchy says, if you need a big harvest of vegetables, garlic is great. Each clove grows an entire bulb. Again, when they somehow spread into your yard, it's really odd when giant stalks and flowers show up. I had some garlic bulbs that had started to like grow out, and I could have just tossed them in the compost bin, but I was like, I'm gonna try just planting them outside to see. And they've been growing, like, they grew last summer, that's the year I planted them, and they regrew this summer. So it makes me laugh because the front lawn has garlic amidst the tulips and whatnot. What does it taste like? It's hard to say because it was in a mix with other stuff, but I know that it was catnip because the cats tried to get into it. Yeah, garlic will grow anywhere. It's really not a picky plant. Like, the soil here is really bad and it's still is like, yep, that's fine. I'm good. I did not harvest it though because this part of the front lawn has a cat that likes to go poop in there, and I was like, I can do with my own cat's poop. Just saying, because cats, they go everywhere regardless of whether it grosses you out or not. But yeah, this random cat that poops in the lawn, I was like, not exactly excited about that. But still made for a pretty plant. Garlic would go anywhere. At least garlic flowers are pretty. Well, the one I planted didn't really make a flower. It made like a sort of big bulb at the top, and then it died. So I don't know what's up with that. Otto says, the forest we hiked today gets covered in wild garlic in the spring. Ooh. I wonder if that smells a bit like garlicky. Patricia asks, does working with the Fudinib change how you draw? Or do you have to change hand position, or is it easy to use? I kind of have to change a bit my hand position depending on the thickness I want. Because, let's pick up this scrap of paper. Like, I think I use it like I hold it like I hold everything, but sometimes, like, depending on the angle you want to use, I think I don't necessarily have one fixed position either. I seem to go between this and this a lot. So I don't know. I really like the way the lines are more organic. It's a bit chaotic for now because I'm not super used to it, but I find it relatively easy to use, but I am probably not the best reference for that. I don't have a good position when drawing. I find that I clutch my pencil, pens very hard. Less so when it's a fountain pen, but still, like, I get cramps quite often. Otto says, yeah, it does smell quite a bit garlicky. That's so funny. You're walking in the forest and it smells like garlic. It's like, what? That's so cool. Oh, wow. Amisha says, when I was in France, I used to find chives and thyme, yeah, growing beside the the path, I can't. I'm tripping in this word so bad. The path and alleys. But this pen is a Sailor Fude Nib pen. Fude Nib means this weird angled, kind of unusual for us, nib. It's pretty interesting because it allows you to have a lot of line variation when you ink. It's very organic look. Can make for really interesting like effects and texture if one is perhaps a bit more used to it than I am. But the only way to get better at it is to use it, so. Oh, forgot to walkways. Yeah, well, instead of tripping in my words like I'm really good at. Oh, okay. You guys stay over there. Let's see this messy one if I can sort of erase it a bit more now. If it's not dry now, it's never gonna be dry. I mean, what? Okay, so far so good. Okay, it seems to be dry now. Well, I say that. Yeah, it's good. Okay. It's a bit of a mess, but I'll see if I can salvage the drawing anyway. Alright, let's get to painting. Let's open this up. Let's erase this bit here. Aww. A pen collection can be a really deep trap. If you fall into the rabbit hole of collecting pens, it can be problematic. I kind of have too many dip pens and inks too. I got rid of a bunch of inks by giving them to a friend not long ago. It's difficult because at some point you don't really know what you like when you start into sort of a new hobby. So you try stuff and then you realize it's not really what you enjoy. So you want to try something a bit different. So and then you try stuff, and I guess you can resell some of this stuff. Like reselling fountain pens seems to be quite doable, but there are other things that are pretty difficult to resell. These are M. Graham paints. This is my selection, my current palette of M. Graham paints. It's big. Yes, it's a kitty in a forest. I was super inspired by really nice colors I saw the other day, but I kind of messed it up because the ink wouldn't dry, so it's all smudgy. Grachi says, I'm thinking of throwing myself back into oil painting again. With watercolor and ink, I'm always trying to find excuses to buy more paint and ink supplies. But won't you have the same issue with oil painting? Right. Yes, I wet my brush like a million times before I start painting. I don't know why, but I've noticed that I always dip dry, dip dry, dip dry. And I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? Remind me, what's the point of this maneuver? So I'm gonna paint in the sky first, I think. And have some piece of scrap paper. I gotta say, M. Graham is the only one I've seen that has well, only one maybe not, but it's one of the few paints I've seen where the ultramarine blue doesn't become this super dried out block of solid paint when it dries. I mean, it's definitely because they use like honey in their paints, but it is a bit less sticky than the other paints, but it's not like the dry block we often see. Well, oil paint supplies are more standardized as they don't really vary much from color to color. Well, if they use the same pigments as they would for watercolor, they're gonna run into the same issues. Like some pigments have a lot of variations, like some yellow ochre colors like PY42, 43, or some PV19, but I mean, oil is made technically from the same pigment, but with an oil binder instead. And by binder, I just mean oil. A bunch of oil. It's pigment and oil. And I think perhaps some sort of gum from trees, like conifer gum, something. Shows how much I know about about oil painting, right? Completely knowledgeable, of course. Of course. Hey, welcome back, Lena. Must not... Well, at least I finished my tea, but it's really tempting to dip my brush in my cup because it's just next to my water container. Which is a really bad idea when you think about it, but... Yep. Oh Oh, possibly. Okay, I see. Hold on. Finish painting this one here. Oh, and I painted the thing next to the wet sky and it bled into it because that's me. Yep, not a surprise. Oh, that was the kitty! Well, yeah, a kitty came by and said, no. Dan says, I think grouchy means the colors don't have their own characteristics by pigment brand like they do in watercolor. In example, yellow ochre behaves the same as ultramarine. I really don't know. It's not like I've painted with oils ever. Metzaball? I didn't know you had a cat named Metzaball. He was laying on my phone when I got back. It's quite possible then. Let's see if I can do something about this smudgy mess. Oh, Lana, that's pretty awesome. Congrats. Lana says that she and her partner are thinking about getting married next year. Oh, that's great, Amisha. Misha says my sketchbook is no longer empty. Did you draw a cat in it? Did you draw a cat in it? Cat! Draw all of the cats. actually drew a tree. Awesome. Oh, Patricia says you were saying earlier that you were unhappy about your drawing style, I guess. And then it got dropped. I would like to hear more about that if you're willing to say more. It's kind of a bit confusing. Hold on, just wanna... Heather says Kamats, pronounced Kumats is his name, but my animals always end up with nicknames. He's an old guy I've had for many years and is a black domestic medium hair. Yeah, I know about nicknames for cats. Okay, so regarding drawing style, it's just that I'm trying to think of words to explain it. It's kind of like when I draw thing, like when I draw like these trees or whatnot. This is possibly not my best drawing, but still, I did this, so it's my drawing. But when I draw the trees and all of that, like I do them sort of instinctively, but then when I look at them, they sort of don't make me happy. Like I'm not happy with the way they look, but the problem is that I don't really know what kind of look would make me happy. And it's really problematic in a way because with the internet, you see so many other people's work, and there are so many things that I find so pretty, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. And then it's sort of difficult to not be overwhelmed by that. And I kind of struggle to figure out how I want to do things, because I'm like, I don't necessarily like this. I would like it to be something different, but whenever I try to find what I would like it to be, what comes to mind is other people's work. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to draw like someone else. I would like to draw like myself, but fix what I don't like. Except I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if that makes sense. Stinky butt. What? Stinky butt? That's so kind, Lena. Thank you. Misha says, can you figure out what specific parts of their work you're drawn to and combine several together. That's something I possibly should be doing more, like really... I do a fair bit of it, but yeah, I do a lot of studies from other artists as well, just to try to understand what appeals to me, and I haven't done it in a while. I'm really due for a couple of entries more, but I've sort of this questionnaire that I put myself through regarding when I get really overwhelmed with someone else's work, then I'm like, oh, this is so awesome, I wish I could do this, and it's like it takes up all the space in my head. I kind of have this questionnaire that I put myself through, like questions like, what do you like? Would you really want to draw like this person? Like, really think about it in real life. Like, you wake up tomorrow and you draw like this. Is this what you want? And like, depending on what I answer, I push the sort of mental process further. Like, if I say yes, I would like to draw like them, then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna continue with like, okay, so what appeals to you in their style? What is unique to them that you go like, I want to draw like that too? And if I say no, I'm like, okay, well then why do you feel this way? Or you know, I just sort of assess with myself, and it really helps me understand what I feel and how to deal with it. Patricia says, yes, that makes sense. Thanks for talking about it. I've heard that this kind of experience happens just before a creative breakthrough. That I'm gonna keep that in mind, definitely. It's kind of been like that for a while, so I'm ready. Breakthrough, come on. Come through. I was thinking about my nickname for Pecco. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she really killed us yesterday. Like, you know, it's not gonna be great if she goes to the litter box for number 2 twice in a day, and the second one was like deadly. Patricia says, have you considered just throwing caution to the wind, grabbing some watercolor paper and playing with color and ink, not looking for any result, then repeat and repeat? I've done a bit of that sometimes when I want to play with some colors, but I also get bothered because I end up with a bunch of things that I don't know what to do with. Like, I end up with a bunch of paintings that I'm like, should I just put them in the recycling bin? What am I supposed to do with these now? And I got a bunch of them, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with them. Your nickname for Dante is similar to the one I have for Pecco? Stinky butt? Oh no! Yeah, she had the zoomies yesterday, and then she went to the bathroom, and I was like, wait, she already went today. And like, she's the type of cat that doesn't bury anything in the litter box. She will scratch the wall next to the litter box for like 5 minutes, but she will not bury anything. So you really have to go pick it up, otherwise it's gonna stink up the whole place. And yeah, yesterday was like 2 for 1. Thankfully, the second time wasn't as catastrophic as it could have been, but it was still like, ugh, why are you so cute, yet you stink so much? What happened? Soseki says, I think it's hard to find a style to draw on. There's the cartoonist art that I do, but I also like to do more rendered pieces. Granted, I don't sell stuff. Yeah. Patricia says, I remember Georgia O'Keeffe hitting the same wall, taped paper to the wall, and just started painting circles, and look where it led. Don't throw anything out. There is information in all of it for you later when you can see it then. I will have to research a bit Georgia O'Keeffe, because I've seen her name a lot around lately, and sometimes it's like, well, maybe I've seen that name a lot just so I could go check it out, what it's about. And yeah, but that's the thing. Anyway, I don't know her work. So I'm speaking like through my hat here, but I've never really felt like I have a super artistic sense. Like, I can draw things that will possibly tell a story or tell a moment or what happens in this moment, like draw little scenes, but I've never felt like I do art with the capital A. So the thing about like putting paper on the wall and going at it with sort of a really careless kind of approach, that's kind of not really me. So it's like, should I do it anyway, or is it gonna be helpful? Like, I don't know. Walls are great for covering poo. Yep. Oh no, Lena. Lena says that she calls Dante smelly or little farting thing in German, because in the beginning he had so many tummy issues that he was gassy a lot or worse. Oh, poor Dante. It's not fun. So cute yet stinky. So all babies? Yeah, all babies, definitely. They are not all cute though, I'm sorry, but like they will grow into their cuteness, but some babies are born and you're just like, yep, that's a baby. Alright. Yeah, it's just weird to do careless art. Like I probably overthink it, which is part of the problem, but it's like for example, like if you check out the way Otto worked out, like when she did the paintings with the super wide brushes and the very gestural thing with the black ink, that was really interesting. Like that really fascinated me, because there was kind of an approach like testing out the tool, then like there was a sort of an increment in the process that led to creating something that felt very genuine, that felt really like it came from her. But that's something I kind of don't really know how to do, because there, like I all my education in art was really practical. Like I did graphic design and then cartoon animation, so it's kind of not necessarily about expressing yourself. It's about like having a really defined prompt or a thing that you gotta convey with the work. It's really more like a tool to convey a message than possibly a way to express oneself. I don't know if that makes sense. I love that the chat is one part gassy animals and one part like the difficulties of being an artist regarding style and all of that. Yeah, I think I'm a visual storyteller. Like I'm at least a tiny bit confident in that. But I'm also like a problem solver, and it makes it really difficult for me to come up with motivations that come from me. Like I'm really used to, like, I work in a situation where they come with the problem or something that needs to be done, and I just do the work and I get it done and I sort of fix it. So it's kind of really weird to have an approach where like you don't necessarily have anything to fix, you just express yourself and you're like, yeah, but what do you want me to say? You know, it's kind of this really weird problem. Well, problem, I don't know if it's really a problem, but it's a weird internal discussion. Art and fart chat. That's excellent. Art and fart. I find that excellent. That should be a podcast. Art and fart. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate it. yeah, maybe I need to create more problems for myself, but it's kind of difficult to create problems for oneself that have weight, because if that's something I struggle with in any, not necessarily just art, but in anything. Like, if I'm the one who decides on a goal, then I can be the one who decides to move the goal. You know, it's not a good way to think, but that's kind of where my brain goes when it comes to that. Like, the thing is, with school and with work, you're never in control of your deadlines. You have a deadline, you have work to do, you get it done. But on my own, it's a bit of a different song. And I hate that it's different. Like, I wish I could just give myself a goal and like stick to it. But sometimes it's like, oh, I'm really tired today. Kind of find excuses to get out of it, instead of being like, yep, but you don't have any choice. Your pay depends on it, or your grade depends on it, or something depends on it other than just you doing the thing. More people work better with more limits than total freedom. That's me, definitely. I'll appropriate the mic just farted. I hit the pop screen, so that's what made the farty sound. I'm glad to report that I've never farted on stream, so. Have you had a look at Sherry Blaukopf's blog and Instagram? I think her sense of story and her sketches, both free and controlled. Oh, she's so good. I took her class on Craftsy, and I know she's from Montreal. I saw that and I was like, oh wow. And her work is so pretty. And it was really interesting to take her class. And perhaps I should revisit my notes, because I don't think I remember anything from it. Limiting the colors used is a simple example of less is more. That's something I kind of always do. Always, well, most of the time, like 95% of the time, I will work with top, like, big top 8 colors. That's how I like to work. I don't like to have, like, all the colors accessible, because it kind of makes for a really confused image. Sorry. But I mean, that's something I'm always working on. Like, don't think that I'm like just twiddling my thumbs. Like, even when I was pre-medication, when I was just super messed up and not functioning properly, and I was like really struggling with creating, I still kept like sketchbooks and would just practice, drawing a buttload of drawings that I thought were really ugly. And I was like, yeah, but that's what you need to do. Like, getting better at art comes through practice, and you won't get better if you never draw. So you gotta draw, and even if you feel like butt, draw ugly things. That's fine. That's like, I'm really struggling with this painting today. Like, I painted this tree quite some time ago, and it's bleeding in the other color. What's going on? Perhaps I'm just not familiar enough with M. Graham, and they really re-wet easily. That could be a problem. Anyway, so yeah, I know that you gotta keep the machine going, even if you don't output what you want to do. Like, keeping the machine working, it's working better. Patricia says she's only teaching workshops now and sketch walks. Would it be useful to tag along? I will look into it. Because last time I checked, she was still teaching at a local school. So I didn't see anything about workshops and sketch walks, but I will definitely look into it. It's where I live anyway, so I'd be a fool to not look into it. So yeah, that's like, I'm working on this. Like, this is... Like, I am not happy with this, so that's kind of like the first step. Hey, bye, Snow Sparkle Gem. Thank you so much for being here. So, yeah, I'm looking into ways I can sort of learn more and and work more with this and, you know, try to find ways I can improve towards something I like better. Oh, she retired this summer. Oh, good for her. I think she thought like a class in the graphic design curriculum. And I followed a graphic design curriculum, just not in this city. And I was like, dude, if I had her as a teacher then, I wonder if that would have had an impact. Because she's really, really good. Have you ever tried to just grab a few random tubes of paint and only use those? Or you could roll a die and pick them up. That would be really funny. I think that should be a live stream at some point. I think I should do this with you guys. I think that would be really funny to do it like... And people could tag along if you want. Like you draw a limited amount of colors too and you try to paint something with it at the same time. That could be really fun. It's so easy to re-wet M. Graham paint. Like I'm a bit struggling with how intense the color is. I'm like, I want I want something a bit more diluted. This is way too much. And like I try to pick up less, but I'm not used to something being so strong, so I always end up picking way too much color for my needs. Oh, I'm really glad to see about Sherry. I'm definitely gonna check that out. It's gonna be hard not to spaz if I ever meet her. Like, your art is so pretty. I'm not very, very good at urban sketching, so that would be really intimidating. It's always intimidating to show your artwork, regardless of who you show it to. Because like this is something I made and I'm submitting it to your judgment, and you might say something really mean and I have to be okay with it. Ah! I'm painting so slow today. I have another drawing. Did I say hi to Josephina? Hi. Time limited and then posted. Ah, that could be a fun group challenge, right? Yeah, that's something we can discuss some more on the Discord. That would be really cool. It's a good exercise too in like creating something with a bit more limits than what we're used to. But yeah, I don't really like. I've painted many things with like 5 colors top, and I don't have any qualms about it. It's not intimidating, if I can say that. You gotta keep in mind also that like I live with an artist that personally I would say is really, really good. Mr. E is really good, and I have like let's say I have 6 friends, at least, no, let's say I have 5 friends, 6 including me, like 4 of us including me, so 3 of my friends are also really good artists. Sometimes it's like really intimidating. You're like, yep, I am the slow one, like running behind everyone, like, wait for me, guys. I am so out of shape here. Oh, she was just featured in Watercolor Artist magazine. Wow. Yeah, Otto is always like super on point with the links. Sometimes you don't even have time to mention finding the link and boom, it's already there. I kind of miss when Lindsay did her live stream. It was pretty fun to hang out. Like, it was it was intense and kind of a mess at times, but it was a lot of fun to hang out with a bunch of people on Fridays. Yeah, Otto is the link ninja. Only mods can post links. It's kind of the only way to safeguard against like someone showing up and posting really, really shady stuff like out of the blue. Like, not saying it would happen a lot, but that way it just cannot happen. And I don't think the live stream is ever big enough that it gets overwhelming for the mods. Or if it does get overwhelming, I hope they will tell me. That's true. There is a sweet spot. Lee says, I feel that there's a definite sweet spot when it comes to active audience members in live streams. Yeah, and it's gotta stay at the point where people can have discussions and I can sort of keep track of it and still do something at the same time. Like, if the chat goes too fast, I'm gonna miss on some messages, so it's kind of bad. And it's still a lot more fun when there is something going on in the chat still. Like, a quiet chat is kind of it's a bit scary. It's like, oh, is it working? Is it not working? Oh, I did the thing again. I always do the thing. I am terrible at this. What kind of watercolor artist are you? Definitely one who is distracted. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm always on the lookout for like, well, too much of Mr. E's dismay. But I'm always on the lookout for sources or references. Like, I try to not get books because we don't have a lot of space. Or if I get books, it has to be like, if one comes in, one goes out. Like, I try to limit the amount of books, but it's really difficult to find the kind of books with the kind of scene that I draw a lot. And yeah, so I can spend a bit of time. And sometimes you find books on like Amazon and there's no preview of what's inside the book, and you're like, I'm not getting that one. Hey Stevie, hi. How are you? Yeah. I've been talking for a bit now. Yeah, let's do the thing on purpose, see what happens. I think one of my main issues with drawing is since I find issues, since I have sort of a problem with the way I do certain things, I super easily get impressed by what I see other people do. Because I don't see their struggles if they have them. I don't see the mindset that goes behind. Like, I only see the result, and the result can be super appealing. And you go like, wow, this person has their stuff together so much. Like, it's so good, but it can be a bit of a biased impression too. So it's kind of difficult because I have this problem that I get really impressed easily and overwhelmed easily. So I gotta be careful for that. I know I do that, so I'm always on the lookout. Sorry, that must have been loud. I'm really sorry. I thought it was going to be less loud. Oh wow, Lise, that's a lot of followers. So yeah, that's kind of the thing I have to be super careful for, because it's not helping me. Like, I get so overwhelmed with the thing that I'm kind of spazzy and distracted. And even if I tell myself, well, learn from them what you can to implement in your art, I kind of have difficulty retaining anything, because I'm like so spazzy and so like, wow, this is so shiny and pretty and beautiful, and this person is so good, and I want to know their secret. And it's like, there's no secret. What are you, 10? That's not real life. You know what real life is like. You're old enough to know what real life is like. Of course, I missed the art and fart convo. It was like two discussions simultaneously, so at the same time. One about farting pets and one about art style. So Stephen found the name of art and fart. It still cracks me up. Oh no! I didn't even know your mom published books. Heather, that's a bummer. What kind of books did your mom publish? Is your mom's author name Cat Lady as well? Mom Cat Lady. M. Graham's Queen Rose is really lovely. It is this one right here. It's a super pretty color. Oh, have fun watching Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey. Is it the movie or the show? Is the movie already out? What? Oh, I didn't know that, Heather. She has about 15 murder mysteries published. That's so cool. That's a good genre. Such a funny name for me, a funny word for me to say, because I mean, it's definitely borrowed from French, so I have to make an effort to say it with an English accent, but it's a French word. But if I say it in French, nobody's gonna get it. Genre. Downton Draggy. I quite liked Downton Tabby. That was a cute one. I'm a bit scared about Downton Draggy. Hey, Dan, did you start watching the UK variant of Drag Race? Alright. I'm gonna call this one done and move on. Hey, Carolyn, hi! Downton Draggy. I'm a bit scared of that one, to be honest. I gotta say, this ink is behaving a lot better than the other one so far. Totally gonna jinx it, but oh, yeah, sure. Thank you so much for being here, Otto. Have a good night of sleep. Mr. O is super tired. Aw. Good night, Otto and Mr. Otto. Hold on. Carolyn asks, Ev, I'm still new to you. Have you published your cat drawings paintings? Like published in a book form or something? They are adorable. Oh, thank you so much. I share them on my Instagram, but I haven't printed anything yet. Otto is on point with the links. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and while at it, keep a bookmark, keep a note. If you haven't checked out Otto's channel, make sure you check it out, because you're gonna quite enjoy it if you like watercolors and colors and good videos. And Otto has a really soothing voice, so it's enjoyable on all aspects. Yes, they would make an adorable illustration series. Oh, thank you so much. I will definitely consider it. It's just a lot of work to get something printed. But I've been through the process a couple of times when I printed the comic I do with Mr. E. So we got that printed, and I would probably follow kind of the same idea, like use the same printer and all that, if I was to get other stuff printed. It's entirely missing cobalt teal in this mix. Yes. Much better, much better. Holbein paints are a lot of fun. They are pretty reliable, so they re-wet really well, and the colors are really consistent. Like, you're not gonna get a batch that has a different look than another batch that you bought previously. And in Japan, they are really affordable. Like, you can get a big 60 milliliters tube for about $10, I think, depending on the series of it, of course, but like, you can get a 60 milliliters tubes of yellow ochre for $10. Yes, please. I'll take it. That's a good deal. Oh, thank you so much for being here, Patricia. I hope your move goes well. I don't know when you're moving. Yeah, you can soft promo here, San. You cannot post a link, but you can share your username. Bye, Mark. Bye, Patricia. Hold on, let me grab a big tube. Oh no, where did I put them though? I had to redo all of my paint organization, and now I'm like, where is stuff? I think I've shown the Rose Madder one I had before. End of this month. Oh, well, good luck with the move, Patricia. I hope it goes well. So that's that's a good 60 milliliters of paint. This is a, well, it's a bit like, it's a bit empty, but it's the size of a 15 milliliters. So you see the difference. It's quite big. Hey, Iso ink, sorry. I'm getting the dough mouth, whatever. Hey, Joy, hi. Yeah, the rummaging sound. I have a few paints. So. It is a bit ridiculous, but it's quite handy if you like to paint big. But yeah, don't hunt for the big tubes unless you go to Japan. It's not worth it. It's gonna be so expensive if you find them here. While over there, it's really affordable. you've seen my oh no eraser. Well, now you've seen my big ass tubes of paints. Did they demonetize for ass? Really? What should I say? Big butt tube of paint? It's an expression, come on. They demonetize for really silly things sometimes. And it's kind of weird because it's just like it's an algorithm, so someone can say really heinous things. If they avoid saying the words that get demonetized, they'll be fine until someone like manually reviews their video and goes like, wait a second. But yeah, then if you use like words that are relatively harmless, they hit you with the ban hammer, the demonetize hammer. I don't really mind. I don't think a lot of people rewatch the live stream, so meh. Yeah. I thought it was windy outside, but it's it's someone like playing like someone rummaging in the plants outside. I thought it was like the wind, but nope. I'm not bothered by swearing personally. It doesn't translate a lot because all the swears I use are mostly French Canadian, so they don't really fit in my speech when I speak English. Like it's weird, you know, but I swear in French when need be. We have this thing where we use our swear words like verbs sometimes or nouns. So it's really weird to try and explain that to someone who is not familiar with this. I'm gonna sneeze. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry. I'm sliding off my chair. Thank you. Votre santé. we use à tes souhaits often. Oh, I won't swear, like I it's not, it's weird to like mix the two languages. So it's kind of surreal to mix them. So it's not something I'm inclined to do, but yeah, we have quite a really localized dialect, so it's interesting. Well, I find it really interesting anyway. The upstairs kiddo is stampeding around, so hopefully that won't be picked up. I sneeze like a cat. Who's surprised? Oh my gosh, Inktober is so hard to do. Mr. E has been doing it like successfully for quite a few years now, and I'm always like, how do you manage to not get bored of it? Then again, he doesn't have any brain issues really, so perhaps that helps in keeping up with this challenge. I've tried, I think I finished it once, but I was not super happy with what I had done, and I was like, well, if it's making me do art that I don't like, then maybe I should not be doing it. Oh, Heather, you didn't have to. Thank you so much for the super chat, Heather. Kleenex fund. Any net use for that goes in the donut and coffee fund. Aw. Donuts. Who likes donuts? Do you like donuts? I like donuts. What's your favorite donut? I really like the glazed ones. Or like sugar and cinnamon. It's also pretty good. Well, ink from a ballpoint pen is still ink. It will fit. Soseki says, "Oh, I love cream-filled donuts with chocolate glaze." That sounds like a real treat. Oh man, donuts. Donuts are so good, but not super healthy, but so good. Oh no. Oh, I know that feeling. Heather says, "Darn it, I moved. Cats took over the warm spot where I was sitting. Now they are too cute to move. Dang it. The too cute to move part is really it's like the main issue every time. It's like, do I like budge them to another place? But they're so cute. How can I how can I do this? I can't. That's why I always lose my chairs to the cat these days, because I got new chairs and they're like, ooh, this is new, this is great, I want to sit there, and then they're like way too cute. And the thing is if I don't give them the spot they want, they get super annoying as well. Like it's like no one's happy. They annoy me, so I can't do anything, and they're annoyed, so they're not happy. I was like, okay, I have my chair, we'll go get one from the kitchen or something. Fine! You win. Oh, cinnamon sugar donuts. Yeah. Hey, Tsukabu is in here. Hey! Tsukabu has puppies now. And they are really, really way too cute to be real. Aww. Cinnamon sugar donuts to me are just churros. Well, possibly, except that I don't think I've ever seen. Well, I know some food carts have them, but I've never eaten churros. It's much more easy to find donuts around here than churros. I'm not saying that it's not any. It sounds just like a long donut instead of a donut, a round donut. Donuts. Of course, there's a cat hair stuck in this color because, yep. What are churros? Well, they are like a long donut. I think it's like the dough is pushed through what's the name for it? You know when you work with icing on a cake and you have like this kind of triangular pocket thing with the thingy at the end that has like a shape, and it creates like either like a star look to the icing that comes out, or a round one, or this is way too technical for me to remember the words of these things. Is it like a pastry bag or something? But anyway, churros look like if you took dough and pushed it out of a pastry bag with a star-shaped tip, and then you fry it. So it's like a long donut. It's a long cream puff. Is there a cream inside the churros? I thought it was just like donut, like not filled. Oh, a cat hair, the painting can now be considered complete. Yeah. I'm really surprised by the very small amount of cat hair stuck in my M. Graham palette. Honestly, I think I see one here. No, two from Scout because she has black fur. And one there, another there. Like, considering there's like 50, 60 colors in this palette, that's not a lot of hairs. Hey, Ellen! Hi! A pastry bag, okay, cool. Oh, piping bag, yeah, that's the one. They have like fluted edges. Donuts. Any kind of donuts is good. There is a Korean kind of cake slash cookie that is deep fried too, that tastes just like donuts. It's really cute. I'm not sure I can remember the name properly, but I think it's Yangkwa. Like Yangkwa, I think. Churro charades. Oh, I'm so... That's bad. That's so bad. Poor Dan. To have churros mixed with a sad memory, that's a real bummer. Callisto Cuddles, that should be a thing. Like an actual thing. Like a brand of cuddles or something. It's gonna be the tricky part to do because I'm not quite sure how to paint the reflection of the orange leaves on the small water stream. So usually when it's like that, what I do is I try something. Like I go with my memories of my perception of the thing, and if it ends up looking terrible, then I know I have to research it some more. But sometimes it still works to give the proper feeling, because that's what you use as a reference to paint it. You used your memory and your feeling of the thing, like what you remember of it. There is a drink that's coming in San Diego called like horchata, and it tastes like liquefied churros. Oh wow. I hope it's not that thick. It's a rice milk drink with cinnamon, huh? Cinnamon. It's thick. And view of a churros. Oh no! Let's play a game. Let's ask what's common between a churros and a cat. Heather, that was inspired. There was a lot of research into finding the proper emotes to represent this. Side view. Sorry. I don't know why that depiction of churros kind of cracks me up. They have something that look questionable. They have the same shape at the rear end. Like the end view of a cat and the end view of the churro is the same shape. And I'll be here all week, guys. I'm sorry. It's the allergies. You know it's the allergies. Oops. That was really like a brush stroke. next to where I wanted it. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the giggle snort, but that warranted a giggle snort. Hey, we are bringing back the art and fart part of the conversation. I think the last time I've been really broken during a live stream was when the whistling people walked by. I'm really bummed that I've never seen them again. It was so funny. So random. Oh, hey, an art-related question. Thanks, Lise. What kind of ink is in your Fude pen at the moment? It's the Carbon Platinum Black. Izoing says, my friend's cat's name is Churro, so is Churro times 2. Double Churro. Oh my gosh, Stevie. Yeah, I think Stevie has won the challenge of going the furthest before everyone goes like, okay, I don't think we can add more to this. You win. Do you guys do that with your friends? Like, we often end up doing that. Oh, a Perot! Oh, that's adorable. Oh my gosh. Heather is like the master of twisting the conversations to really weird topics. Like, it's like it just naturally goes towards weird stuff. Yeah, poor time for a pun. That's what I told myself. It's always Heather's fault. Oh my gosh. Was that on purpose, Heather, or did you... You didn't plan that one? Oh my gosh. It came from the heart. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm happy with this effect, but it's still somewhere I can start from to get better at painting a similar effect. Like, I can observe this and think, what do I like? What didn't work, what worked, and then I can look at references and sort of figure it out. I find it's easier to start from something than to start from nothing. So you you might get a better result if you start from something that doesn't work and try to bring it to something that works. At least it gives you like a reference. Now I'm not gonna read that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's total craziness in the chat. That's like insane. I think I added a bit too much dark in my water to make it look like water. It doesn't look like much right now. So that's something I gotta work on, figure out, get better at eventually. It's kind of difficult because I don't want to paint, like I don't want to do super realistic render. Like hyper realism is really not my goal, but finding ways to simplify yet produce the same effect, that it feels right, you know, it's not easy. Mayhem in the chat. The chat is collapsing on itself. Oh, I did the thing. I almost succeeded in not doing the thing, but I ended up doing the thing anyway. Poop. Mayhem is in the living room. Mayhem is the name of one of Heather's cats. Oh my gosh. The poor chat is like imploding with all the the messages that gets hidden. The chat follows the basic law of the universe. It dissolves into chaos eventually. Entropy is all consuming. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. It's one of the weird things of having white paint on top of anything is that it dries much more transparent than when you put it down. So sometimes you put white paint down and you're like, hey, that looks good, and then it dries and it doesn't look like you added anything to it. So it's like, yeah, why did I bother again? Remind me why I bothered. Oh, you can show them, Heather. That's fine. In my opinion, it's pretty tame stuff. Actually, on topic question, but how do you feel about the whole light fastness topic? I feel like personally I want to go for pretty art and ease over making sure it will last for 100 years. I've accepted my work will end up in a thrift store at best. I'm gonna use punch you in the face pink. Oh my gosh. You said it better than I could have. I think exactly the same way. Exactly the same thing. I am absolutely unbothered by light fastness. If someone happens to leave one of my painting on their wall for long enough that it fades, they need to put something new over there. It's been long enough. It's been there long enough. And I really like punch you in the face pink. It's one of my favorite color. Like opera pink. And you can always get a scan. Like, that's what I do. I scan everything and then I'm like... So yeah, I understand people are really bothered with it because usually they sell originals and it's really important for them to consider the light fastness of the artwork. But personally, I don't bother. It's not in my priorities. Like, I don't do fine art. I don't think anyone will keep this stuff on their wall long enough. It's never gonna be in a museum. Like you said, it's gonna end up either in the recycling bin or in the thrift store at some point. And someone will take notes on the back of it. You know, it's just meh. Dude, Bruiser or Havoc have a lot to say. Oh my gosh, Lise. Yeah, I think I should write down the way you said it, Izoink, because it's so perfect. Like ending up in a thrift store and using Punch You in the Face Pink. Punch You in the Face Pink and Will Blind You Orange are some of my favorite colors. Because they add a lot of punch to anything, especially in gouache. I like to do like my first wash, my underlay of color in like opera pink. Because I know that it's gonna add some vibrancy to every color I put on top of it. And it's gonna fade, fine, it's gonna fade. At least I had fun doing it, you know? Oh my gosh, opera pink. You guys know how much I love opera pink anyway. It's not a surprise. No one can be surprised right now. I've been pretty open about my love of this super loud pink color. Pink and orange are too powerful. I found a neon orange watercolor by Kusakabe and I really love it. Hold on, I think I have a test painting in the pile here that has some of it on it and it's like, it's amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's probably not gonna look good on camera, but it's like, it's a really like punchy orange that's like, hi, I exist. And I'm like, I love it. I try to find reasons to use it into things. Alright, I think I am soon gonna be done. Looks like a goldfish orange. Yeah, it's like goldfish orange on steroids. It has that neon brightener in there, like that dye that makes it super duper punchy. Oh, that sounds like a good hair color. Orangey pink. Yeah. If you have access to Kusakabe paints, check it out. They have a Passion Orange, I think it's named. And it's like this bright neon orange that's super fun to use. Might be difficult to find outside of Japan. You have to be really crafty. I had to go check on Rakuten, and it was a bit of a mess to try and figure it out. And you end up paying a lot of shipping. But I was like, this is neon orange. I need this. See, I think that's a really complicated topic, because you can have sets of Kusakabe on Amazon as well. Just saying. But you know, like Banksy does a painting and he shreds it before the person can bring it home, after they have paid, but before they can bring it home. And people are like, "Ooh, this is so artsy." While if I use a color that will fade, that's considered like a problem. I'm like, but what if you see it as part of the painting itself? It's gonna evolve through time, it's gonna change. So why is one like worth way too much money and the other one considered a problem? Like, this is what bothers me. Yeah, I think fade adds character. I agree. I think it's part of it. It's like the way the painting will evolve through time. If it fades, I mean, they say that these colors are not light fast, and I am pretty sure they are. But if you don't put the drawing like face in the window, like I don't know, like if you put it on a wall that doesn't get direct sunlight, the chances are it's gonna be mostly okay. Izoing says, it's like the finite quality of it. Yeah, I agree. I think we are exactly on the same wavelength in regards to that. Like flowers will there's a word for it. Anyway, flowers will get all limp and gross. And they were beautiful when they were new, but now they're something else. And I think, yeah, wilt, thank you so much. And I think a painting that has faded is still more interesting than wilted flowers in my book, because it still has like something to it. A wilted flower, sometimes it's just sad and it smells moldy. And you're like, yep. This is my old person rant, maybe. I don't know. But it is definitely where I stand in regards to that issue. And I mean, sometimes I'm like, yeah, but like people will will really focus on having super light fast paints, but they will use paper that is like cellulose paper, and I'm like, dude, priorities. Better off with cheap cotton paper than cellulose paper. Because cellulose, like the pigment stands on top of the paper. It's literally like paper, and then you have the layer of pigment. While at least anything that's cotton, whatever pigment you use, even if it's a dye, because it's a neon color, it's gonna soak in a bit at least. It's gonna hold on to it a bit better, I think. Anyway. Yeah, that's also true. Jen says, I saw a Rembrandt sketch on wood at our museum. It was faded and still absolutely gorgeous. Just gave it more charm. After that, I stopped worrying about light fastness. That's the thing. I mean, the old masters, they used all the colors that fade through times. Like the alizarin crimson, the Prussian blue, the Aurelian gamboge. So if that was good for them, I can use all the neon pink I want. Isoink says, good paper is honestly the make or break thing, in their opinion. I think it's good paper, good paint, and then good brushes, personally. Because if you have good paper but average paint, and cheap brushes, you can still get something decent done. If you have good paper, good paint, and cheap brushes, you can definitely get something done. And then if you have good paper, good paint, good brushes, you're good to go. Like, you won't have to upgrade anything until it breaks or runs out, which is great. Lana says, imagine painting a painting only with fugitive color and see it change. That's what they did. I mean, the old masters, whether you like it or not, most of their colors were gonna change through time. Like, when you see old paintings that get restored, there's like this super brown layer of gunk on top of the paintings, because people used to smoke in the same room as these paintings. The way they would light up the place. Like, there's a plenty of factor that will cause a painting to deteriorate anyway. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, I agree. Iso Ing says, I'm out here sketching with highlighters because I'm a broke college student in art school, and it's really fun to block in shapes and then draw over it with the big pen. Yep. And that's a really inexpensive marker. Well, if you look at a Copic marker, it's gonna cost you like 5 times the price. Oh yeah, and yeah, the main priority should be to do art, of course. But like, if then you don't know where to start and you want to invest in something more, that's personally my priorities list. But yeah, I mean, if all you can afford is cellulose paper, whatever paints, and whatever brushes, and you have fun with that, and you create art with that, that's cool. That's really cool. Some people get all the best material in the world and they don't paint with it. And then some people get whatever material they can afford or they can find and have fun with it. So I don't think it's indicative of whatever. It's only relevant if you decide to push it further, like if you want to be serious about it. Because at some point, like, if you get really good with the cheap supplies that you started with, you might get frustrated at some point because you're gonna try to do things and it's gonna look not like what you want it to look, and you're not gonna be able necessarily to figure out why it looks different. But that could only be because of the supplies. So that's when, like, improving gradually is nice. It's always like a do what you can approach from the start, but yeah. Hanging a masterpiece over an open traditional wood fireplace, great idea. Oh my god, yes. I heard only a few colors become super ugly after fading. A Reolin is pretty bad. It's like cobalt yellow, it's PY40 I think. And it turns to really lackluster color. It's like gray. I'm like, meh. Ooh, I think I'm hungry. I need to check more restoration videos. They are super zen. And it's really interesting to see how carefully and slow they work, like millimeter and then another millimeter that's cleaned up, and then you have this tiny square that's like the proper colors, and everything around it, you can see the difference, and it's like, whoa. Okay, I see what you mean, that this needs to be restored, because like, you would think that those were the colors it was meant to be, but absolutely not. and then you remove all the brown gunk weird stuff on top, and you're like, oh, that was actually like a color that's blue instead of like black. That's interesting. San says, I know this artist that paints with cheap kids pan gouache, but his artwork is amazing. I actually got myself the same paint set because I got so inspired by him. Yep. There's an artist called Enrique Fernandez who, like, you can give him just whatever supplies and he's gonna make something really nice out of it. Not saying that everyone is able to do that. Like, I struggle sometimes with some supplies. Like, I don't really know how to use them and I'm not super confident enough, but it's a bit why I find all the challenges like, oh, I do this with cheap supplies, a bit silly, because cheap supplies don't really mean anything. Like, cheap cellulose paper is personally the one I really don't like, but that's personal. Like, that's my taste, my impression of it. But if anyone is good with that, like Cutman, some people paint great things with Cutman, believe it or not, and I can't do anything with them for the life of me. But if someone can use them, I mean, awesome. I'm really just noodling around with this. I think I'm gonna stop here. My voice is pretty busted. If you must have inexpensive paint, definitely ask people what the best option is. There are some terrible paints out there that are far more expensive than some decent paints. That's so true. It's insanely true. Oh yeah, Shanth and Jetty is really good. I haven't checked his work in such a long while. Oh, write it down. Just so I remember. Oh, bye, Carolyn. Thank you so much for stopping by. Izoing says, I honestly think digital art is a really great way to explore all of the different styles. Because you can do that till the cows come home, till you feel comfortable with your art and then branch out. There's also one of the big advantages of digital art, which can be a problem, but it's that it doesn't take more space than your computer. You don't end up with a stack of artwork that you don't really know what to do with. Though if your computer bunks out and you haven't backed up all of that on a cloud or a backup disk, you lose everything. Well, I mean, this is like a tangible thing. Unless I toss it outside and don't pick it up and the wind takes it away, it's not gonna be lost, you know. Which was a silly way to say it, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Alright, so not my best art day, but considering what I've been doing the last few days, this is like the most I've been able to do this week. The most complete stuff I've been able to do. It's a thing. It's a step in the proper direction, I guess. Yeah, when you buy digital supplies, they cost a lot. The computer is super expensive, but it will last you quite some time. And it's really easy to take digital work and print it out or send it out or share it out, you know. I arted. That reminded me of the art and fart discussion. Oh no, bad hiccup. Ow. Ouch. Alright, hold on. I will do the... Do you have a price for the F-Draws Pets pieces? Which ones? The ones that are already done? Nope. No, I just want to give them to the people whose pets are on it. Like, I would give it to you if you were there in front of me. Like, I don't mind. Since you're not there in front of me, I'm gonna mail it out. It's gonna get there. I think I had sent you... Did I send you the ones? I don't remember things. Anyway, end of stream messages. Thank you so much everyone for being here. I have a Discord server if you like to chat, if you want to keep the discussion going during the week. There's all sorts of channels over there. We have art, we have like knitting and crochet, pets, whatever. We have like all sorts of streams, channels over there for whatever topic we want to talk about. And it's completely free. You just have to create an account, and it's fairly easy to use as well. And if you have questions, you can ask us. So, like I said, feel free to join the Discord server. The more the merrier. And yeah, big thank you to Otto, who has left, and Heather for being my awesome mods. And big thank you to everyone for being here. I appreciate it, and it was super fun, as always. And we will see each other next week. I don't like hiccups. Have hiccups, have burps. That's a good name for it. Hiccups. Anyway, thanks guys, and have a great week, and see you all next time. Bye!